Welcome everyone to our 3 by 30 coffee chat series, Imagining Futures, a Black History Month special brought to you by the Sheridan Alumni Office, the Student Leadership Development and Engagement Team, and the Sheridan Student Union. My name is Alicia Seguy, and I'm the Alumni Coordinator of Special Projects here at Sheridan. Thank you so much for joining us today for our final coffee chat in this series. I'm excited to introduce you to Sheridan grad Tredel Lambert and Bachelor Community Safety student and Vice President of Academics and Equity for Sheridan Student Union, Tristan Pinnock. Tredel, also known as Tredel the Comic God, is a professional illustrator, character artist, sequential artist, storyteller, and creator. This young Sheridan College graduate is making headlines with his art and impact on pop culture and community. Tredel has loved art since a young child growing up in Toronto, getting inspiration from the amazing series Dragon Ball. He continued developing his artistic abilities while studying at Aurora High School, and after he graduated, went on to further his art skills at Sheridan College. Tredel's work has been profiled in media all across Canada. Tredel has been doing some amazing work for Black History Month. Last year, he created Black Heroes in History fiction art exhibit, and this year's project is called Black Excellence. In today's chat, we're going to dive deeper into all of these wonderful things that Tredel is doing and learn how one small step can make a big change. Since we only have 30 minutes and we have a lot to talk about, I think we should get started. Please welcome Tredel and Tristan.
Thank you, Alicia, and welcome, Tredel. Your profile is quite extensive, and I guess I just kind of wanted to start out with, could you tell us about your Black Excellence project?
Yeah, of course. I think that it's important to look to the past when it comes to Black history, and there's only the history in the Americas that we learn, and I think there's a rich religion and mythology that has been there for like hundreds and thousands of years, right? So I think that it's just important to hear that.
Awesome. And in that series, it's a 3-part series, correct?
4-part series.
4-part. Oh, okay. And could you just tell us, in this series, is there any one particular image that kind of stood out to you most while making it?
Well, I really liked my raw image, the sun god of Egypt, and I just thought that was really cool. Him with the sun boat. It has a very rich and expressive story behind it.
I was gonna say, the sun god was I like that one, but for me the one that really stuck out was the sky god Batala. I thought that image, as I saw it, I'm like, wow, like you can almost feel the history coming through the actual graphic there. It was a very good, very nice graphic. Kind of moving into our second question. You said it was important for you to focus your art on empowering young people on learning about Black history, and that your art would help to change a sometimes negative narrative about our culture. Can you expand a little bit on that?
Of course. First off, thank you for your compliments on the Obatala one. I appreciate that. But yeah, in Black history, I've always learned about the slave times and the civil rights movement, and that can be, we should learn about it, but that could be very negative in my opinion. And I think going back to when these religions were so popular and the creativity of the stories, and I think that's important and positive to see. It's just another like view or aspect you can learn during Black History Month.
I can definitely appreciate that because as you said, kind of steering away from the slavery model. There's a lot, there's two sides to the coin. And I can appreciate that you want to take the positive route and the almost uplifting route, much in the theme of imagining futures. Even though you look into the past, you're also going forward towards a brighter future in your art. For our third question, I wanted to ask: you're making an impact on pop culture and the community through your art, but was this always your intention? Your intention, or was it more than that?
I appreciate that. I honestly do what I think is cool, and sometimes that means there's a message behind it, and if that's the case, then I'm all the more happy to do it. But particularly setting out to, well, yeah, I guess I like to do the things that I see, and that sometimes that sometimes has a meaning, I guess.
Okay, so then let me ask you, do you feel that it's more important for young artists to be versatile in their artistry, or to focus on projects that they're truly passionate about?
I think a bit of both, honestly. I think but I also think if you do the thing you're passionate about, you'll hit versatility in one way or another. For example, let's say you're very passionate about character design. You're going to have to make props for that character, and then you'll learn all different elements of drawing and art just based off of making the sword that knight has, for example, right?
Correct.
So I think passion first, but versatility, you'll get to it. It'll come.
Versatility is something quite a lot about. I wanted to ask you, in terms of your Black heroes and history, fiction art exhibit. How did that come to be?
I seen a lack of promotion for Black heroes, and just me kind of being a nerd from growing up. I knew they're out there, but I rarely seen them. So I was like, well, I should highlight these characters that I love, and in it I'll learn about more characters that I know are there, but I haven't necessarily seen. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, and I mean you do highlight a great point that there are Black heroes in fiction art, but it's to highlight them. It seems to be like they're almost few and far between. But as you look more, you find them, and they're in abundance. We've actually spoken quite a lot about your work. Do you mind showing us some?
Oh yeah, of course. So this is part of the Black Heroes in History. This is Isaiah Bradley, the Black Captain America, and the other one is Canary from Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
And then this is Yoruichi from Bleach, and Static Shock from the Milestone Comics or DC Comics.
Yeah. Yes. when I was going through your Instagram, I caught the image of Static Shock, and like my eyes just lit up. I was like, it kind of took me back to my childhood, because that show was on for a little bit, and that was one of the, for me, that was one of the only times outside of someone like Green Lantern that I had seen as a Black hero. So it's really cool seeing you actually bring that back and put characters like that in your exhibit.
Thank you. I love that show too, honestly. And the Green Lantern from the Justice League, I love that too. Those were both I felt power when I seen them.
Seriously, right? Like it was a good feeling, man. It's good to feel represented. So in terms of this year's theme at Sheridan, for Black History Month, which is imagining futures. How can Sheridan students help to improve equity, inclusion, justice, and imagine their futures to becoming change makers?
I think at the end of the day, when it comes to if we're talking artistically, create what you want to create. I think making your stories more prevalent will make everyone else just make the Black experience a little more common, make it more normal, because I feel like if people don't feel totally comfortable, that's where the negative side of the diversity comes from. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think just telling your story, and honestly, everyone treating each other like they're human.
That is a very good point. And being able to treat one another like humans is a very crucial point. I just kind of wanted to spin back towards your art. In your thinking, going through everything that you've done in your career, is there a standout piece for you? Is there a standout piece of art, whether it was the process of it or just the final creation of it? Is there a piece that really kind of holds a close spot in your heart?
Well, sometimes recency has a pull on what I like the most. Again, the raw one, just because it had so many elements to it. I really liked that one. The Isaiah Bradley one that was shown earlier, it's a Black Captain America. I always thought that was very powerful. I remember the first time I heard of it, and I was just like, that's a thing? Actually, the first fan expo I went to, I cosplayed as him, right?
Really?
So, yeah. So, yeah, no, I really like that one just because the character means a lot, and I know I'm not American, but but I don't know, something about it feels nice and powerful to me.
Like, very true. So again, with the Black Excellence Project, is there any reason in particular why you decided to go the NFT route, or
it was something just new and interesting to me. The NFTs, it's so recent, and I hear everyone talking about it on when I'm just perusing through YouTube. So I was like, let me give it a shot, right? I thought that was interesting, but honestly, the NFT part is secondary to the main message. But it's always fun to try with new technologies, because the world's going so fast you can barely keep up. But hey, try, right?
That is very true. In terms of the actual creation, in terms of the actual Black Excellence Project, is there any? Do you see this being a continuing series for you, or something that you would want to branch off more from?
I think so. There's so many interesting stories that I can't just tell in this month. So I'm starting with 4 for this month, and then yeah, I'm probably going to continue it. I don't know if that will be for next February or if I'll continue it through the year, but I'm definitely going to tell more of these stories because I think A, it's important, and B, I love mythology as a whole, so why not tell some interesting stories, right?
Very true, very true. And the good thing is with mythology, you can go down a rabbit hole, and you're always going to be pulling out more things, more kind of more inspiration to work from. So it's a rich genre to both from. Um, when it comes to in your own personal journey, do you feel like there's anything that you experienced so far that that you feel is a beneficial to Black artists trying to make an impact?
That's sorry, that's what to make an impact?
Just trying do you feel like there's any advice from your own journey that you feel would be beneficial to Black artists looking to make an impact either in art or in their community?
Oh yeah. Just tell your story honestly. Do what you feel. Like honestly, that's honestly the best thing for me to say because whatever you're passionate about, that will come through in your art, and I feel like that will empower you and it will probably empower others. Like the opening said, I was empowered by Dragon Ball Z. It's not necessarily like a Black thing, but
Mhm.
as soon as I seen those moving pictures, I was like, how is this done? And then I discovered the manga and I was like, you could just draw and I went down a rabbit hole of like, this is awesome and I need to create this. And then it inspired this other stuff the like my current project, which is the Black Excellence, right?
Mhm. And for those of us just joining now, could you really like dive into the purpose of the Black Excellence Project and just its real what you really wanted the message to be. I mean, Black Excellence sounds pretty self-explanatory, but I know that you have a deeper meaning, and there's a lot more to unpack here.
Yeah. So at its bare roots, it's history didn't start in the Americas. Or for our history didn't start in the Americas. And what we learn is only from the Americas. And we should go back further when the time wasn't so negative, when we had stories of our own, when we and I just wanted to highlight the fact that there's more. There's more than just the civil rights movement. There's more than just slavery. There's more than just the guy who created peanut butter, which is honestly, before I looked back, oh, the top 5 things I could be proud of, right? Obviously, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, those all
Mhm.
important, but also the guy who made peanut butter, and I think the guy who created the Super Soaker.
You were reading my you were reading my mind. That was what I was going to say next. Yeah, it does. I know you had mentioned this earlier. Like it does definitely a lot of a lot of the history we learn in America and in North America, it's kind of rooted in definitely the civil rights movement, slavery, kind of growing from those stages, but the history is so much more rich than that. And you actually highlighting this starts to put a really positive light on this typically oppressive almost history. The two pictures on screen right now, as as I mentioned, one of my favorites, the Sky God of Batala, and we also have here the Sun God Ra. What are the other two installments, if you care to if you care to mention them and now?
So the next one is going to be Ama from the Dogon culture.
Okay.
And that culture as a whole has a ton of interesting stories, from aliens to fish people to it's fascinating. But the first thing I'm going to tell is the story of Ama and how he created the universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good one coming up. I do have a question here from the audience. So we often hear about absurd prices that had NFTs are selling for, but do you see NFTs being a format that can be more accessible to people?
I think so. In the future, when things move along, everything gets more accessible. So with like it takes like what they call gas to make NFTs,
Yes.
and that could be quite expensive depending on when you're doing it. So with technology going further, that's going to become less, and then probably it's going to be more affordable for everyone else. But at the end of the day, when it comes to art, it's art, right? So so it's a specific piece that maybe only one, depending on how you set up your NFT, that you could get. And art can sell for millions, just like physical art, fine art can sell for millions, just like these NFTs can. But not all are like that, just like how you could buy prints of someone's work, right? So
you actually brought up a good point that I didn't even know myself, because I was always under the impression that NFTs were one of ones. So the purchaser of them would just be the sole owner. But the fact that you're already mentioning that you can set them up in different ways, where exclusivity isn't necessarily the main purpose of it. It's already showing that they're kind of moving towards the making it more accessible for everyone else in that space. When it comes to the actual art making process, was there any major differences for you?
Not really, just because I'm usually a digital artist to start with. So from these, I put a little more effort than I did in the Black Hero ones, because I felt like they're going to be one of ones. If I'm going to try to sell them as an NFT, I should make it look nice. But so I switched up the style, went with a less comic booky style with it. But overall, it was my usual art process. I start with a sketch and then move on from there, right?
And to keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For your arts, how long would you say it generally takes you to go from conception of an idea to kind of putting it on screen or on canvas?
So for my raw drawing, it took 13 hours for the painting alone, the digital painting alone. But I know, just because of research and making sure what to put in there and any sketches I did in my sketchbook, that it was probably more around like 15 to 18, honestly.
Okay. So you're putting in a lot of time into these, not just in between the actual creation, but the research that goes behind it. And that kind of time spent on multiple projects, it really shows the passion that you have for your craft. Which kind of leads us into another question from the audience. Tredel, passion is so important, but beginnings are challenging. What would you tell your first year self, and something to pull you through difficult times?
That's a good question. My first year self, I would say practice more. When I went into school, I still kind of had the idea that tracing or copying to learn was bad, and I had to do everything by memory. And then as school went on, obviously I learned that obviously you could you could copy. That's the milestone of art training.
Yes.
But yeah, just making sure that studying is good, and tracing isn't bad. I'd be so much further right now if I knew all that stuff.
Very true. And you mentioned it there. Practice, definitely practice. I've been told, instead of thinking it as practice makes perfect, practice makes progress. It's just it's a continuous flow, and you're always going to be kind of going on that journey of getting better in your craft and learning new things. Another question from the audience. Tell us about some upcoming projects. Once Upon an Illustration and your comic book.
Yeah. So the first issue of my comic book is coming out at the end of March. It's going to be a 10-page issue, and it's a long form story. So I'm going to have a few. Yeah, those are the first 2 pages of the comic. And it's set in like a twisted ancient Egypt-esque fantasy world, where the evil god, the god of chaos, Set, rules.
Okay.
So
that sounds very, very interesting, actually. Is there a reason why you decided to go black and white for this particular novel?
Yeah, I love reading manga, and I love that feel. So I wanted to use it. Plus, I think it looks good. I had tried to tone it, and it just didn't feel as authentic to me. So I just kind of left it black and white, and I think it looks pretty good.
It looks great
for this particular project.
That makes sense. This looks great, and even from the pages I'm seeing here, you can feel the life on the pages coming through the shadows, and just how everything is so crisply put together. No problem. When are we going to be able to get our hands on this?
So at the end of March, the first issue comes out. So it's going to be a 10-page issue, and then the following month would be the next issue. It's going to be a monthly thing until the first volume is finished. Okay.
All right. That sounds amazing, and I will be checking it out. One final question. Where do you see yourself in terms of art and storytelling in the next few years?
Well, continuing to make comics. I honestly, I have so many ideas for so many things. So I just want to create stories. I'd like to get my hands in animation down the line. Not necessarily me doing the animation, but maybe me creating a project and working with people to get it finished. Yeah, I just want to tell stories.
Love it, man. Love it. love it. I'm just scrolling through just one of the comments here that kind of caught my eye, and we both do love Dragon Ball Z, but I can definitely agree that the live action movie was not the greatest representation.
That is very true. They did not do a good job. That and the Avatar Last Airbender adaptation are just like horrendous.
Wow, what an amazing chat, you two. I think you guys could go on and on and on, so I'm sorry to interrupt you. So Tredel, we do have a couple more questions, if you don't mind. So can you get the issue on thecomicgod.com?
Yes, you can. You can go to thecomicgod.com to see all my projects.
Awesome. And have you ever thought of working for Marvel or DC Comics?
Of course. I have so many ideas for them too.
I thought I knew that answer, but
well, yeah, I definitely love to do that.
Thank you so much, Tredel and Tristan. It was an absolute pleasure having you both here with us today. Thanks, I can definitely say I feel inspired and encouraged to become a change maker. And Tredel, congratulations on all of your success and the great work you are doing. Your art is amazing. It truly is. So thank you to everyone who attended today. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay. I'm just going to quickly jump off screen and do a screenshot. So if you guys just don't mind smiling, that would be great. Sorry, I have to wait for the 10 seconds to stop so I can get the screenshot without me in it. Be right back.
Okay.
Oh.